After a good show in Orlando, the Heat came out of the break still blazing.
Here he comes. LeBron to his right.
It's like eyes in the back of their head. Wade knows where LeBron's going to be, LeBron knows where Wade's going to be. And that's been, I think, the biggest step in the progress, in particular with those two guys.
Heat trail by 2, a steal by Wade. He's got numbers. It's LeBron with a king-size tomahawk jam.
The Heat were on a hot streak, winning 9 in a row, all by double digits. The second longest streak of this sort in NBA history. Winning heals all for this group. It also breeds hijinks.
When you think about the way the Heat were winning those games during the win streak, they just weren't W's. I mean, they were big, swollen, juicy W's.
That 9-game stretch was the high point of the regular season. If this team can get what they're doing now and do it in the playoffs, I'm not sure they can be stopped.
It looked like, they were really ready to roll for the whole second half of the season, and then came Utah.
Two very physical, aggressive teams will go after it.
Trailing most of the second half, LeBron hit 8 of 9 for 17 points in the fourth quarter. He single-handedly dug Miami out of a hole, regaining the lead in the final minute.
3 on the shot clock. Off balance 3, he made it!
Oh, my!
Oh, my is right!
Under 5 seconds, Devin Harris gets Utah a 1-point lead, setting up a dramatic ending.
Game and winning streak on the line. LeBron for Udonis, the jumper. No good. Utah wins, and the Heat winning streak is over.
More heartache lingered as Miami faced the Lakers on national TV, the third straight game without Bosh.
Chris had taken the week off after his grandmother passed away, and there were some players who thought he might show up on Sunday, and I thought when he was not there, it deflated them.
The Heat also had to play without Wade in the fourth as he fouled out. Kobe closed the game out with 33 points, handing the Heat another loss.
Plain and simple, Lakers just played some really good basketball.
We win 9 games in a row by 12 to 17. Some games you're going to be down, some games you're going to have a lead from the beginning. So it's just law of averages.
This year, you really saw a more introspective team, a more talkative team, a team that was willing to maybe talk about some of the mistakes that were made and some of their goals for the future. They let people in a little bit more. I think they gained some fans by doing that because they let fans feel like they were along for the ride.
Returning home and holding the memory of his grandmother with him, Bosh returned with a 20-point game, paving the path through pain towards victory.
Here's Bosh. Look out below.
I realized how much I miss basketball being away, but it's always good for something to happen to make you appreciate the sport and appreciate this great situation that we're all in.
The next night with the Hawks in the Heat's house, Miami wanted to get 2 W's in a row. With 12 seconds in the fourth quarter, it was a captain's collaboration.
Tonight was like a playoff game. Our crowd got into it, after that. And, we fed off our crowd tonight.
The thrill ride continued in Miami, where Wade, in overtime, made sure that the Pacers and anyone watching understood whose house it was.
With 4, with 3, leans in, and hit! Wade with 0.1 second left in the ball game. Dwayne Wade in his house.
He did a terrific job of leaving nothing to chance. 0.1 seconds, that's as good as it can get.
Power cutting out there here in the building.
After Wade literally shot the lights out in Miami, he did the same in Orlando.
Shoots the 3. Come on!
Plus another chance to win it in regulation.
For the win! In and out!
Losing in overtime, the Heat had a grueling turnaround traveling to Chicago to face the team with the best record in the league. LeBron and Wade were once again awesome, combining for 71 points, but it was not enough. The Bulls pulled out the win. The Heat turned it around at Philly, launching 4 straight wins, bouncing back at the right time. The Heat had won 39 of their first 50 games, but kept stocking the roster.
The Heat welcome a new big man into the fold, and they hope Ronny Turiaf is the rugged presence they need.
Ronny Turiaf was an interesting addition because he came with this perception of being a tough guy, rebounder, the guy that can kind of mix it up in there. And I think that's what Miami needed.
Then it was time to face Kevin Durant and his surging Oklahoma City Thunder, and Miami got ambushed.
They ran into a Thunder team that was red hot, playing at home. Had a great night for Kevin Durant. It seemed like he wouldn't miss.
The road can be a challenging place in the NBA, and the very next night was proof positive in Indiana. A much improved Pacers team from last look that was now playoff bound. They clinched the win and left the Heat searching for inspiration.
I talked to Udonis Haslem about this. They had a meeting. He was talking about just preparing for the rest of the schedule. And one of the things they talked about at that meeting was getting back to that dark place, is what they called it. And that dark place was that empty feeling after the Game 6 loss against Dallas. They wanted to keep that feeling and they wanted it to motivate them.
2 straight ugly losses have raised some questions on the Heat's championship chances.
We've had 2 flat games that we're looking to change now here at home.
It was a sense of comfort. Okay, you're back in your building. Everything's all right. We'll find a way to figure this out.
And a steal by Miami. Marion to Wade, the alley-oop. LeBron with a 2-hand jam on the alley-oop.
The Heat's defense disrupted the Mavericks' offensive plans as Miami focused on their identity.
LeBron dribble drive, baseline, beautiful to Bosh.
It was a collective response to how we've been playing. It was good to see that type of energy and activity on both ends of the court.
Wade to the basket. Oh, a right hand hanging slam by UD.
It was critical to the Heat Nation psyche that the Dallas Mavericks did not come into this building again and get a victory.
The Heat snapped their losing streak with a true team effort, giving them home victory, number 15 in a row. Then back to the road, but the woes resurfaced at the wrong time, in the wrong town.
Their starters have been absolutely pummeled by Boston.
The Boston Celtics were supposed to be old and tired, but today it was the Heat that looked haggard in Beantown and continue their struggles on the road.
This is going to be the lowest point total of the season for the Heat, their lowest shooting game of the season, and their worst loss of the season.
The Heat were embarrassed because they did not play any aspect of the game well. They had to come back home and regroup again.
So they did. Back at home against the Philadelphia 76ers, the Heat were without Wade, and it had a slight change in the starting lineup.
Ronny Turiaf had a good debut as a starter. He was an offensive presence, so they had to play him. And it allowed LeBron and Chris Bosh to get more points.
Turiaf blocked it and saved it in. And here comes LeBron. Giddy up time.
Everyone elevated their game to cover up that space that you miss when Dwayne's not on the floor, which is massive.
Battier got it to Chalmers. What a play by Battier. The alley-oop, LeBron, backdoor, 2-hand jam to James.
Filling the Wade void, LeBron scored a season-high 41 points.
Wide open UD from 20, in and out, put back, 2-hand jam, and hanging on their end is LeBron James. Oh.
The result of his performance, Miami's 16th straight home win while clinching their spot in the playoffs.
You know how intense it is when you get one of those thunderstorms on a summer day when the heat is stifling? Like the intensity of a legit, no-joke possible NBA Finals preview.
The very next night, it was a rematch between the Heat and the Thunder. Redemption was Miami's lone focus.
The Heat needed a big win against a good team.
But in the second quarter, the Heat were in an 11-point hole, and emotions were high.
It got testy very early. Heat came out of the gate. There was some pushing and shoving. It really got physical out there.
This rivalry has just gotten nastier.
The intensity heightened when Miami tied the score, making way for a fantastic fourth quarter.
Oh, and a vicious right-hand jam. Who was that man with that cape running down the floor?
It's so rare that you get 2 MVP candidates like Kevin Durant and LeBron James playing head-to-head at both ends of the court.
The final 8 minutes was a back-and-forth clash. An entire team effort was needed to pull ahead.
LeBron in the corner, Battier for 3, got another one! Oh, the Dukies buried a pair!
Bosh is open, got it! Oh, big bucket for Chris Bosh!
You know, it's just a pride thing. They beat us on their home court, and we wanted to return the favor.
This was a competitive Warrior game where our guys can go in the locker room and look each other in the eyes.
Everyone left that game saying, okay, not only are the Heat still top dogs, but LeBron James is the most valuable player.
The Heat then endured a difficult stretch. First, their 17 home game winning streak came to an end in a 15-point loss to Memphis. Then, against Boston, where the Celtics offense shined.
They shoot 61%. No team has shot better against Miami this year.
When you couple that with the fact that it is an elite squad like Boston, it makes it even that much more difficult.
It continued 2 days later on the road at Chicago when the Heat seemed to be in control in the fourth quarter.
The Heat down one. Wade for the fade. Oh, rebound Bosh. LeBron for three. Come on. Yeah, baby.
Fourth quarter, LeBron hits a big three. All of a sudden, they have a three-point lead. They're playing good defense. They shut down Derrick Rose in his return. It seems like they're going to win this game.
But last-minute heroics by C.J. Watson kept the game going.
6 seconds left. Watson for three under duress. Oh my! What a shot!
The Bulls bench outscored the Heat bench 47-7, and their road struggles continued in an overtime loss.
The Heat had the Bulls down but couldn't knock them out. And in Chicago, they end up paying the price.
The Heat have now lost 6 of their last 11 games, 8 of their last 9 on the road against winning teams.
This is one of the worst feelings from the regular season I had this year.
The Heat wanted to bounce back, and they would have to do it on basketball's biggest stage.
3-on-1 break for the Heat. Wade lobs it, James throws it down.
We saw a great game from LeBron. We saw a great game from Dwayne. We saw a great game from Chris Bosh.
Bosh off the dribble, down the lane, Chris Bosh.
The big three bring the Heat to Madison Square Garden and prove that they can win away from home.
Even though the last couple games we lost, we saw some good things, and we just want to continue to get better. And today we took a good step in that direction.
Across the river the very next night, the Heat faced the Nets, determined to get another road victory.
Oh my! An exclamation point stuffer for LeBron James.
The Nets led for most of the game and seemed to be in control.
And we know no matter who we're playing, if it's in Miami or if it's on the road, we're going to get everyone's best. But that's why it's a 48-minute game, and we want to just keep plugging away until we was able to take the lead.
An 11-2 run in the final minutes, led by LeBron, who elevated above all others, scoring the final 17 points of the game, launching the Heat to victory.
LeBron, under duress, scores again. He is unstoppable.
After a win at home against Toronto, the Heat once again faced the Bulls, looking to counteract their painful position from a week prior.
Chicago has the best record in the East, but they're going against a team who has the best home record. It's a psychological battle for both teams.
In a physical push, the Bulls hit their first 10 of 14 shots, but the Heat kicked it up defensively.
Pass intercepted by Wade. Wade on the run against Noah. Layup, got it and fouled.
Mario Chalmers provided a spark on the offensive end as his shot was on spot.
Real, 3 on the way. Got it. Oh, Chalmers, he is scorching hot right now.
He was very aggressive from the start, and when he plays at that level, we're a very tough team to beat.
In a tight game that came down to the fourth quarter, everyone on the floor stepped up to make timely plays.
Haslam dropping the sledgehammer.
Our guys responded to the challenge, and it was a collective effort.
Drives inside an A6, throws it up. Oh, behind the head layup by LeBron.
It really was an important win for the Heat, considering the fact that they had their fair amount of struggles against the Bulls earlier in the season.
Miami finished the regular season as the number 2 seed in the East with a record of 46-20 and the NBA's best home record, 28-5. With the playoffs on the horizon, the Heat had a finite focus for the journey ahead.
They proved that when they play their best, they're a championship caliber team.
All that matters is having another parade down Biscayne Boulevard.
It's just one-minded, one issue, one goal. Go get the trophy.